Well, welcome to our little late night bonus segment, everyone. For those still with us, that is. Thank you.
Who is spending time watching Tom and Jay at 3 a.m.?
Oh boy, 3 a.m. Yeah, there's a reason actually that we're not quite set up like that. Also, I really need to fix this, hold on. Not entirely sure how to fix this boom arm. I don't know if the camera is maybe the one thing that's shifted. Fritz has gone to, well, he's supposed to be having birdie bedtime, but the last time I saw him, he was camping on his food perch, peeking out, and just eating a late night snack. But he is... That is a good question. So, we're working on a Fall Guys themed emote this time. To be exact, it's a beanball emote. And you might be wondering, wait a minute, didn't we just do a spherical emote like a little bit ago? And the answer to that question is yes. Yes, we did. Except one little thing. I actually was not planning to do another ball themed emote yet. I was actually gonna do a different Fall Guys emote, probably one that involved waving instead. But I decided, since the Bouncy Bean Beanball LTM is in this week and has also been updated a lot, well, I figured that'd be a little more appropriate. We're actually not... Surprisingly, I thought about doing the dragon. I think dragon will actually have a different emote. It'll probably be a static one at first. But I actually chose to do the Axolotl or Frills Gills this time. At least for this one. Just because I felt it fit better. It fit a little bit better this time. I might add some other variants, though, later on. At least depending on how smoothly this goes tonight. And you might be noticing that I'm not at my graphics tablet set up yet, and that's actually because, well, it's gonna be the blue one this time, but there probably will be a pink one. I know, I just got out of the shower, so my hair's got a little swoosh thing going on. Now, there's actually a very good reason that I am not actually at my graphics tab set up here. There's a reason I don't have it set up for that right now. And that is solely because before we can actually... Oh, you go for it. So before I can actually work on this, there's a little bit of prep I have to do first. We have to actually get footage for the emote first. I have to get the source info first. However, to do that, I need to also figure out something else. So we're actually going to be experimenting with this live. An experiment is going to be figuring out how to get this to work. Because the problem is, Fall Guys has a very specific camera, which is fine enough for regular games. But this is not a regular game. And that is the thing. So we're going to have to figure out how to record the beanball animation properly and accurately before I actually start sitting down and editing it, we first actually have to open the game, and we have to figure out how to make this work. And by the way, just to let you all know, this is a bonus segment. Just a couple things. There won't be any playing with people or anything like that. That's the wrong. What desktop is it focusing on right now? I think the capture card is broken. Hold on, that's my desktop. It's an old version of my desktop that's focusing on. Let's reboot the capture card. And try again. Hello. So like I said, this is a bonus segment. So this is different from what I usually would do. So I don't know why. I think this is the last one I used like a previous time I was playing. We're actually working with this little guy though today. We might actually eventually make other variants depending on how smoothly this goes. But I think it's a good start. Now, the only thing here is that but okay, here's the thing. Consider this an optional experience. If you want to stay up and watch, you can. However, this is not going to be my usual repertoire of stream. This is not the usual one. It might be a little bit more technical and maybe boring at points. So if you have other things to do, if you need to get to sleep, do not feel obligated to stay up. If you were up during the Rocket League segment, that's basically the main stream experience. So you consider that done. You can just leave the stream on if you want to lurk, if you want those channel points, and you can go to bed or do whatever you need to do. But if you want to tune in, that is also perfectly fine, but just don't feel obligated to. But if you want to, knock yourself out. I'm not going to stop you. Alright, so we got to figure out a couple of technical things. I'm going to just create a new map. It doesn't really matter. I think I'm going to use the original theme, but it doesn't really matter exactly what we pick. We're not going to have... Now, the only thing is my skin's not going to show up. It's going to be the construction bean. That's fine. That doesn't really matter. Because we're not at that part yet. Actually, I have a map I have designed just for this, so we're going to work on that one. Instead of making a new map, because I have a map. It's literally just called Test Map. Oh, nice. That's a good way to do it. I'm gonna use controller for this. I much prefer controller for this. Alright, so we've got this. So the thing is, now Fall Guys works at least. I'm actually gonna add another platform. These are just, ignore these. I don't know why I have these here still. You can ignore most of this stuff because this is literally just... These are literally just basically glorified green screens. Also, I chose the space theme because it happens to work the best for lighting. We're using a lot of lighting tricks, like you'd find maybe a studio. It's very similar to what we're doing here. I'm just going to add a nice open platform for a second, just for testing purposes. It doesn't really matter what we place here. Oh, nice! Harry Potter. You can't go wrong with Harry Potter. I'm gonna roll down here real quick. So one thing about Fall Guys in particular... Although, actually, you could... Oh, that's interesting. That is very interesting. Can we actually use a falling animation here? Might have just unintentionally discovered a trick, but we'll see if that works. Now, the frame rate hasn't been set. We haven't done any of that sort of thing yet, but we need to keep in mind the camera as we do this, because the problem is, the Fall Guys, how it works is, in general, the camera works fine if you walk up and down, so if you want a forward-facing perspective like this, it mostly works fine as long as the analog stick's being held right, and same for going forward or back. But, same for walking. But if we go sideways, the bean actually works fine, but you notice that the camera starts rotating like this. It starts rotating in a circular pattern. This is actually how we get the emote made. We first have to go into the actual game, and we actually have to get the source footage. Again, I chose the space theme because I think the lighting is the best. Flipendo was a spell. I mean, I'm not surprised. Sounds like something you find in Harry Potter. Okay, so the goal is I actually don't want a forward-facing one like this. I want to go sideways, kind of like this. Actually, can it actually just kind of work? The only problem is it's circular. And also the lighting is changing a lot. Which is the biggest issue. Is the lighting's changing, which is kind of the big problem. Now, to be clear, this is a test map. This is, don't worry about this. This is a test map. And the character you see here, this is not a representation of what we're actually going to be working with. Before I can actually use... It is a process. Before I can actually use Frills Gills, or the Axolotl skin, we have to first make sure the map is going to do what we want it to do first. Once we figure that logistic out, then we can start focusing on other problems. Actually, I think I unintentionally discovered something. We might actually be able to get the camera in a set position, and the animation still works, because the way Fall Guys is set up, with the little sparkles like that. We might actually be able to make this work by falling with style. I think if done correctly, actually we might be able... let me check that one more time. We might actually be able to use that to our advantage, which might... Yeah. Because the animation for rolling, like the sparkles here that show up, like the little speed effect, that stays the same. The little effects stay the same, it seems. It doesn't matter if I'm going down. Like, it doesn't matter if I'm going down. It seems like as long as I am moving at high speed, the little wind effect takes place in front of the character, and that's important. Is if we can... Because that means we don't have to have it go in a specific direction. Not that it would really matter. It actually wouldn't look bad if it was going down, but that's not what we want. I need a power up before I can actually use this. Let me see, does it work with fans too? We might need a stronger fan. Let's try making that a little stronger. Strong. And we'll make that long. Interesting. The handle? Okay, is this fan not giving us enough distance here? I feel like we're not getting a lot of distance. Strong force. Interesting. Let's try a regular fan. Maybe the regular fans have more distance. I'll try that. Long and strong. That's how you need it. Interesting. I think it is stronger and longer. Very weird. Oh yeah, that is way stronger. Let me test this. Okay, so he gets a little messed up. I'm gonna just drop. He starts to kind of do weird things, actually, the animation, if left unattended. But when falling, the animation plays the same. But the question is, how does it behave? I need... Actually, you know what may be better for this? I'm going to use one of these guys. I think that's going to be the play. Because then what I can do is place it right here. Instead of using a fan, which does the same thing, basically, but not as consistent. Make this guy strong. Let's see. Yep. The animation is not based on your direction, which is what I thought it was. It's based on your speed. So the animation always plays in front of your bean, as if your bean is facing wind resistance, but more also looking like confetti. If I guess the wind was made out of confetti, but either way, now we know what to do, and now we know how it works, and we can abuse that to death. The only thing is, it's kind of weird. It's based on, I guess, how your bean falls. It's kind of weird, actually, because if you just do a straight fall, it doesn't have the same property. It's a little bit tricky. I think it's going to require a very odd setup to get working, because that is not behaving the same as this ramp and bouncing off the wall. So we have some testing to do. But if we can figure this out, we can just make it work with a set camera. Because the goal here is we need a fixed camera angle like that. That worked. So I think that's going to be the play. So we're going to need a ramp and a wall just like this. And I think that will actually work. Now, the only issue is we're going to have to use a green screen, or we have to use some kind of screen. So I'm going to load that test map. Not here. We have to go to a custom round to use my skin. But honestly, we almost have the setup. We just need to modify it so the shadows of the walls don't get in the way. I'm not going to use a code. We're just going to boot this up. We're not doing anything crazy. We're just going in. And let's go into the test map. It's technically published, but it's not. It won't show up in the algorithm because I never completed the map, and that was on purpose because I didn't want this generic test map showing up. And I think all the plays are pretty much me. The only issue is this little guy here is that, well, I tried using the screen when I was doing a waving animation. I actually tried using the magenta screen, and you might notice a problem. It works, because you can't use the blue one, because he's blue. And you can't use the green one, because you see he starts to blend into the green one. I tried using the magenta screen, which you think would make the most sense. Until you look at the cheeks, and he has rosy cheeks, and they're pink, just like the background. And when I tried running that through the AI generator, or the AI background removal tool, it got a little funky with the cheek, which is not really what we want. So I figured I'd show that, just to show the process. Let's go back to our test map, and we're going to make a tweak. We're going to make another section of this. We actually need to get rid of this giant wall. Because we're going to instead focus on the falling and making a different background, which is next. The problem is if the shadow gets in the way, it's not going to be great. The only problem is we do have to have some kind of wall down there, it looks like, because it doesn't work. However, I think the lighting could be a potential problem. The shadow casting. That's going to really ruin the effect, so we might have to figure that out. Also, actually, we kind of have to have it. We have to have it bounce off of this wall, but we're going to have to figure out how to deal with the shadow casting issues. Because that is going to be a significant problem. So this is the stuff. The good news, honestly, is we don't have to do this in a real game at all. We can do this in, which would be a lot trickier. There are still solutions for it, but if you want that little animation too, you do have to do this. But you know, to be honest, I'm starting to second guess whether we even include that little wind animation or not, or if we just do something a little bit different. But I think this might be the easier method of getting this. So this is gonna be basically just a lot of experimentation and figuring out what works and what does not. That's sort of, I don't know why this is not aligning correctly. This is just being weird. There we go. Alright, we have it all the way down, as far as I can go. That is literally limit. I cannot go any lower than this. That is literally as far as I can go. I cannot go any lower than that. I could maybe go... Now, actually, you know what we could do, though? We could make everything higher instead. So I have a faster and, like, longer fall. That might be the play. For now, let's just test the concept and lighting issues. Yeah, actually, this main platform is actually the main problem. We can fix that, too. So I'm actually going to redo most of this. What we're going to do is actually use a multi-select tool. And I'm just going to do this. We're just going to take all of our standard objects. Like, all of them. That I have built. And we're just going to take this whole thing and move it up. As high as we can really go in the editor. That way we can fall longer and more accurately, which is kind of important. It's still going up? How high can this go? I feel like it's not, I feel like we hit limit. I think we hit the limit. Yep, we hit limit. We cannot go any higher than this. We have hit the limit. You can see the ceiling. There's the limit. We cannot go any higher than that. We are literally at limit at this point. As high as we can go. So, now we have that figured out. Just gonna remove that, and we're just gonna... How do I go down? I like that. Well, I mean, that's a way to eat waffles, though. I mean, it's a preference thing, but, you know. Waffle's a waffle. So if you like syrup, that's really... you can pour it on there. I actually used to like a lot more syrup in my waffles when I was younger. I would just pour the stuff on there. That's changed a little bit as I've gotten older. I don't prefer that as much. I prefer, like, a little less than I did when I was younger. But that's, again, that's more of a preference thing. It doesn't... It's not like a... There's no really wrong way to do it. Really? Huh. Weird. Dude, every copy of the Twitch app is personalized! Ha 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 ha! Oh! Oh, yeah, good call on that pin, thank you. Yeah, they should have taken that down a while ago. I should have taken that down ages ago, so whoopsies, my bad. Oh, it's not gonna let me pin that? Really? Bruh. Spin! Thanks, Sneeze, I appreciate that. I should have taken that down a while ago. This is definitely not a break. I can't, unfortunately. Nope. This is basically what I would do if I was not streaming, except I'm just doing it live and talking to people at the same time. Pretty much the only difference between that and this. Alright, that is as low as I can get this platform. And I think what I'm going to do is attach another one, make it a little small, a little flatter. That's moving up and down. There we go. And I'm just going to extend that. I don't know what color this is going to have to be. This is probably not going to be the color we work with here, because it's not quite the right color. But, let's take a look. Now, the biggest issue is actually this. This is fine, except... I'm actually going to remove this. I think we have to have this for this to work, but, you know, whatever. I'm just going to extend this out quite a bit so we can't actually get to it, just to prevent accidents. Don't really want this level showing on the algorithm for obvious reasons. Now, the issue is that if this platform setup, it's fine, except I actually got a good camera. The camera's a little janky, but it's functional enough. The lighting actually isn't too much of a problem. Not really anymore. Cheating has become less of an issue. No, some randoms actually, it's quite the opposite. Also, they fixed cheating after Season 1. They added Epic's anti-cheat. Unlike a game like Fortnite, the anti-cheat actually is pretty effective. Camera's a little jittery. I think we can still make it work. Oh, Pixel Painters, though. Pixel Painter randoms are different. I think this is fine, honestly. The camera's got a little jitter going on. Just a little jitter. We might honestly not even need this wall, and we're gonna experiment with that. Falling is an option, but there might be better ones, better ways to do this. We might actually eventually do a bean falling. That might be something we can do, because that's not probably too hard. That actually would probably have very few frames. That's the other reason why I switched to beanball, because I think the beanball is gonna have less frames than, especially when it's rolling really fast, compared to the waving one I planned on doing. The waving one I planned on doing had roughly 100+ frames. So that was going to be a process. So I chose to actually not do that one yet. We have all kinds of new objects to work with, and I think the play is going to actually be making a ramp. I think we could use the pipe, or maybe the, we could also use the... Okay, cool. The UI, creative UI is a little broken. I don't know why that's broken, but that's a little broken. I don't think it's affecting anything. It's just a weird visual glitch. That's fine. It doesn't really matter. We could also use the padded beams, which is also an option. Did I still have... How is it still up? I thought I took that down. What the frick? Dang it, I thought I took that down. Did I not take that? Oh, I took the wrong one down. Oh, whoops. That was not supposed to still be up. Whoopsies. Anyway, oopsie. Well, also, you should be able to create... She redeemed 2v2s. I guess a joke. Now, also, you should be able to create... She should be able to, or you should be able to create maps on PS4. I mean, Mom can. I think it's the thing. If the binds aren't working, you have to reset the binds. That's the only way to fix that problem. Because it's janky. But you should be able to. That should be a thing. Alright, let's just... This is a test map anyway. Let's redo the thing. What I'm going to do is we have two options. We can use the pipe, or we can use the padded beams. It doesn't really matter, I don't think, what we use. The only thing it does matter is how it's oriented and how it's aligned. And I think I'm going to make this small. Might even need the low. We need to also make the scale lower, like really thin. But we need to make the... Actually, can we make it flat too? We'll come back to the flatness later. What we need to do is the length, or not length, I guess the depth is what's important here. We need to make this sucker long. Actually, what I might want to actually do is, before I adjust the length, it might be a good idea to start small, and then maybe... No, we need it long. I think max is 10. And there's a very... I'm hoping this is going to work. There's a reason we make this stupidly long. Also, I'm going to turn off... I'm going to turn off camera snapping, because that's really going to be annoying for this. Alter form? What now? I think if we space this out... Oh! Dragon. That's an easy one. I don't know if a mythical creature is cheating or not, but I don't really care. I don't really care. Is that gonna work? That might sort of possibly work. Maybe. If it's done right. Actually, that might work. Yeah, that actually might work. I mean, yeah, there's some ground stuff. But if we can figure out a way to thin these out a little bit, maybe this would work. The length might be a problem, though, which is the only issue, but it might work. We can actually thin these out, though, which might work in our favor. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Okay. I think that'll work. I think that'll work fine. It's a little bit jank, but I think it actually works. The giant odd object here. Okay, except the depth kind of broke this. I don't really know what happened. Something with the depth. Amount of depth broke this structure a bit. It kind of made it work weirdly. Oh yeah, that has a very strange hitbox now. That actually made this hitbox really weird and inconsistent, which is kind of a problem. It's doing, yeah. It literally just kicked me off the structure, which is a problem. We're gonna undo that. So apparently thinner might be the way to go. So flatter might be the way to go. Hard to say. I think keeping it round seems to be the key. But I think we can do better. Oh, excuse me. There are other options, though, at our disposal. Things like, for example, we could actually use the new pipe object. Let's see if the pipe would work any good. If we make the thickness as small as we can and the size as small as we can. It's definitely still thicker. It's not quite as thin, so it actually wouldn't work. Fortunately. Okay. We've got that figured out at least, but let's figure out part 2. Let's see if we can rotate this. I'm gonna turn camera snapping off. That's gonna be very obnoxious. Alright, yep, needs to go like this. It is having trouble. We're gonna allow clipping as well. I'm gonna allow clipping or overlapping. That will fix that problem. Is it cutting into something? What? Oh, I think it's hitting build limits. It's so diddly dang long that it's like cutting into these little spaces. So we have basically made a little ramp. Here's the problem I was concerned about, though, with having this. Now, this is going to have another use, but it definitely has the problem. I mean, it keeps the bean on one track. I think we might want to actually lower the length a bit. I think that's the first thing we should do. So we need to make the depth just a little smaller, like 5. I think is more reasonable. And then I'm going to do the same with this one. The problem is, you see what happened with the camera there. You can probably see what I was talking about earlier. The problem is, the camera is very specific. So if I were to try... Alright, if I were to try... and do that... The problem with the camera is that I tried to roll down and get footage right there, right? But the problem is it wasn't going to really work. Literally because... the object just was not going to play nice. It just was not going to, like, stay on there. The camera, like, I can do this. And the camera fights me. Like, it is a fight. I could have it... Real animal? Ah, I'm good. Oh, well, maybe this could work. Maybe this could work if we do it right. But I'm worried about the camera kind of fighting me. I mean, that camera is fighting me. You have to get the analog stick in, like, literally the right spot for this to work. I guess we'll try it. We'll see if we can maybe make it work. Okay. I think that works. I think that will work fine. Hey, wolf. I don't know if I would choose a wolf. Personally, I don't know what I don't know what... If it was a real one, I don't know what I would choose, to be honest. I have no idea. Let's try maybe adjusting this again. Let's see if we can maybe rotate it a bit further. It does not want me to do that. It is significantly fighting me on this for some reason. I don't know why it is fighting me so heavily, but it is. It is. Let's get the oversized chopsticks Let's take our oversized chopsticks and put them in place. Which is exactly what we're gonna do. Yeah, fair enough. Okay. Again, yeah, the camera absolutely will fight you to the death. The camera absolutely fights you to the death. Which I think makes falling our best strategy, because this is fighting me very hard. Getting the frames... I mean, I guess we could get... If we just hold it still enough for long enough, it could work. It's very jank. Very jank. Okay, let's see. So this is what happens if I leave the camera just idle at this position. This is what happens. It just kind of resets itself, which is not what I wanted to do. Yourself. That is one of the answers of all time. Okay, well, let's see. Yeah, the camera really likes to fight you. I mean, if I want a full sideways one, yeah, that's great, but that's not what I'm going for. Yeah, this is really... Ooh, yeah, no. That is not the play. We are going to absolutely have to... yeah, that is not the play, because that is very... That is exactly what I talked about. I mean, yeah, it'd be easier, maybe, but there are some disadvantages, and also that is a pain in the neck to have to deal with. That pipe just fights you. Like, the camera will just fight you to the death, and there is no beating that camera. So I'm going to make these smaller, about 3, because I have a different idea. Oopsies. It's just a hypothetical question. Alright. That's a good size of pipe. Is the goal of the pipe is actually, it's not just to, like, it's the basic gist of this, what this little pair of chopsticks is meant to do. It's actually just a guide to make sure the bean is just going straight and not doing anything else. So that way I don't try to stray from the path. That's why this exists. Is what's going to actually have to happen is we're going to have something that launches me at higher speed, like a fan. That can just get it going quickly. And to do that, and pull that off, we're going to have to do something quite like this. I don't think it's going to let me do that unless we lower this platform, which we're going to have to do. Alright, we're lowering all of this. This has to go down. Is the fan will not let me place the fan unless there's a little more clearance. Yeah, and I think we might have to extend this out too. So there's some work to do. All right. Okay, let's do this. Now, we need to have a delay on this. If there's a, yeah, let's do a start delay. I'm gonna make that 5 seconds. That, I think we'll try default settings for now, but we'll see how that goes. What we need to do is just get myself right on the pipe. Whoa, that works fast. Alright, that works really fast. Let's place it as low as I can. Let's see if we can maybe... Oh, okay. So we need an automated way to prevent ourselves from rolling too fast or too soon. So I'm gonna add a little obstacle. I'm gonna add... Yeah, we're getting into engineering now, apparently. I'm gonna place one of these right here. I'm gonna make it about 2 wide. And I'm just going to place it right in between so that the wall can't go anywhere until the allotted time. I'm going to make the delay on this. Start delay. 4 seconds. That way I can get into position. I have to add the delay, more delay because the start would be, you know, a little bit janky. But here's the idea. I think we want to do it at the same time, though. I think a more reasonable time would be 10 seconds, because if we do 10 seconds... okay, well, because we'd probably start here. I grab the power-up. I rush over. Get in the spot. Right? That would be the thing that makes sense. And then... bop. And then we have the background, and then we have the rolling animation, which is exactly what we want. And maybe we could add some more fans or something else. We need to move this entire set of walls closer, but I think you get the gist of it here. We need to move all of this stuff like a lot closer, because this is not going to work. No, don't move that yet. It's not letting me select this for some reason. It acts janky if you, No, I bet I will. No, I bet I will. It's not letting me select. Why won't you let me select this? Let me select the diddly darn thing. Come on. Okay, let me see. How many objects? 20? Should be enough. Oh, yeah, it's an object limit. Okay, fine. That's fine. That doesn't matter. Wish you could select more objects at once. That would have been... that'd be a nice, convenient little feature to have. Okay, there's a problem. I think the green screen might be a problem. These have to go. All must go, because we gotta get rid of these. That's gonna be a problem. Alright, let's get these in position. This time we can actually select all of them. You gonna let me move this up? I can't move this up for some reason. I don't know why I can't move this up. This is really weird. It's not letting me move it up, and it's being really weird about it. Genuinely, it is fighting me to the death. I don't understand what's going on. It is actually legitimately fighting me on this. I don't know why it is fighting me so hard. It just does not want to go up. I legit cannot figure out why it's doing that. It's very weird. Very weird behavior. It's like just fighting me. But I can place this, right? I can place this guy for whatever reason. Okay. Fine, I guess. We can just do this. It's fine. I don't know if it has to... Does it have to do with camera snap? Oh, interesting. Okay, so it's camera snap problem. So if you turn off camera snap, you're gonna have some jank. But to be perfectly honest, I think I'm gonna redo this anyway because this is old, and I think it's gonna be more of a pain to deal with. Alright. Cool. Alright, we got that figured out. Now we just gotta build out. Now, ignore this one platform. That's gonna be temporary. Yeah, see, this is the problem with the prep. Is the prep actually is a lot harder than it looks, and a lot longer than it looks sometimes. But the big thing is we need a nice, giant wall. We need to make a nice, big wall of block. Because if we do not make a nice little wall here, the bean will not bounce off the wall, and we won't get our nice camera shots. So we want to make sure we nice, just a nice thin one like this. And then we just, I think camera snapping might need to go. That camera snap's gonna be really annoying in like 2 seconds, but now I just gotta build it down. Oopsies, I didn't want to do that. Build it all the way down. Also, by the way, if you're trying to earn channel points, this ironically is a really good way to do it. With these extra streams, just keeping the even just keeping the stream on, you'll earn channel points quick during these bonus ones, or even just during the break scenes like earlier. That is actually a surprising way to earn good channel points. So you're trying to grind a few extra. It's a good way to do it. I don't do these all the time, mind you, but you know, when I do, it's something a little like this. All right, I think we actually have stage 1 kind of ready here. Almost. I'm actually going to stop right there. I think that's good enough, personally. Let's go and get in position. Let's test this. Now, we're going to have to change the color of the walls, most likely, because blue is not going to work. For obvious reasons. Okay. Animation's a little trickier. But it works! It actually works, and it actually works well. Okay. That is surprisingly effective. It needs a little tweaking, but it's surprisingly good. You just get on the rail, fan does the work, and there you go. Bean just does its thing. I think we can actually use maybe more speed to get more desirable results. The only thing is we are going to actually want to build this all the way down, because if we don't build this all the way down, what's going to happen is the bean basically just will despawn sooner, so our character will despawn sooner, which is not what we want. So we want the character to stay spawned as long as possible. We don't want to respawn if we can help it. At least not right away, so we gotta, like, get this down just a little. Just a little bit. Part of the process of this, the fun in this, is the process of figuring everything out and seeing what is going to work, what's not going to work. And again, I think the space background is the best lighting, but it doesn't mean it's the best background for removal. Well, it is kind of purpley though, isn't it? Actually, you know what's funny about the falling animation? The camera kind of has a natural, like, resistance there. Like, it's natural. There's a natural part of the camera. It naturally wants to kind of rotate at like a 45-degree angle when you're falling. This is actually really good. That means we don't have as much resistance with the camera, and we can actually get this done easier. For some reason, falling is way easier to control the camera with than anything else. I don't know why that is. I genuinely don't know why that is, but that's fine. I'm going to make this short, but I'm going to also make this stronger. I'm going to make the fan a little stronger, just so we launch a little faster when this opens. It's going to sit right here, on top of our little ramp. And we wait. Actually, is stronger not the way to go? Because that didn't actually seem to work as well as the weaker one. That's very weird behaviors here. Very weird behavior. And again, these giant what I'm going to call the giant chopsticks, they're just a guidance tool. Yeah, okay, weaker apparently is the strat. Except the walls kind of do things that are weird, but, you know. I think maybe medium is the way to go. Maybe just longer? Oopsies, you didn't see that. I think we're actually about ready to start actually making this work. Yep, length's the way to go. That's the way to go. Yeah, see, like I said, the camera kind of has a nice natural bent to it. Got a nice natural bent to, like, not bent, but like it has it naturally wants to stay around 45 degrees facing the beam when you're falling. Like, it has a natural camera angle, which we can abuse for our emote making purposes, despite the fact that we only need A tiny... What in the world is happening there? That being... That was weird. That kind of launched me upward there. That was weird. Once we're falling long enough... This happens. Well, that was odd. Hold on, what was that about? Wait, does the wind effect not show up in front of certain structures? That's weird. That's a very weird property. Oh, that's interesting. It doesn't show up. Oh. It barely shows up if you're not in front of a wall. That is bizarre. That is some of the most bizarre behavior I think I've seen yet. It doesn't matter. We have to make more of these anyway, because what we're gonna have to do is copy this, except we're gonna have to either rotate it or just simply make it to where it's smaller. I'm overlapping, it's fine. We do need to actually make this a little smaller. Actually, no, we don't. We need this down here. I need it to snap. Oh, okay. I'm turning off the camera snapping. It's being dumb. Yeah, right there. Yeah, let's get like a little closer to the spots. Snapping's turned on, right? Okay. Yeah, it's just not gonna snap. It's fine. Oh, it'll snap right there, though. That's fine. That'll work. That snaps right there. That's fine. And same thing as before. We just gotta do the thing. Oh, this should snap. We might want to turn camera snapping back on for this one. Okay, I think we're chilling out, to be honest with you. It is not wanting to... For some reason, this is being very stubborn and does not want to align in the spot it should. I'm going to turn off overlap for a second. Maybe that's, like, a problem. It just does not want to snap. There we go, finally. And also, we can ignore... You see how it's, like, adding filler blocks there? The pink ones? That doesn't matter. We're not going to see that. That doesn't matter. That can be there. It's fine. It's not going to kill anything. It's not going to hurt anything because it's just not going to do anything because it's just going to be there. And again, yes, I'll have to change the color for every single block, but that's fine because we'll have to do that anyway. Like if I do this for multiple skins too, like if I get source data for multiple skins to choose from, like this will have to be a repeated process as well, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, let's get this set up. I'm going to lower this down, and we're just going to place it right down here. There we go. It seems kind of weird that we're making a level to make an emote, and you'd be right, it is weird, but that's how the process works. We could do it in-game, and there are other ways to do it that wouldn't be as difficult, but I really want this to be specific. So if I can just lock the analog stick in one place, hopefully we can get a good result here. It's definitely having a little bit of weird behavior. It's definitely going to take a little bit of experimentation and kind of... Maybe there's also some camera sensitivity settings I can tweak temporarily to make it work better. So maybe there's a method to that too. It's gonna be a little tricky. The camera is fighting me ever so slightly. It is fighting me a little bit. So I'm actually gonna try to just reset the camera and just face forward. And let's just see if I can get it in a good spot. Even with falling, the camera is still just fighting me so hard. Can I open, like, regular settings by chance? I'm gonna save this. I can adjust audio settings. Unfortunately, I can't adjust anything else. That would require, real stuff. I guess real gameplay, which is weird. But it's fine. I'm kind of just fiddling with the camera, seeing what's going to work here. It's still fighting me a little bit. It still naturally just wants to do its own thing, which is fine. But if I hold the analog stick just the right way, it does actually kind of stop fighting me a little bit. Just a little bit. It's still, I don't know if the walls have anything to do with it or not. It's very janky. However, I think this should be good enough. The only thing I might want to do is maybe add a convenience feature where maybe the fan is either smaller or maybe just isn't as janky. I don't know if I want to change the background yet. I should probably change it to a color that makes sense. That's actually another thing we're going to have to figure out, is what color is going to work best. We have our method. We might have to do some fiddling. It might take a couple takes. It's fine. We can do that. We already have it set up. It's going to work. Now we just got to choose what color of background. Now they actually, in this update, they actually added more background colors. They added more block colors in this last update. There's actually more of them now. I'm going to add a little bridge here. Let me check, actually, see if that bridge I just made is going to have issues. Lighting effects. Let's see if it's going to cause any... I don't want it to cast shadows in places it shouldn't. There is... Okay, yeah, it is casting some shadows I don't want. I think we should place it on... there's no good place to put this, to be honest, so... How about instead we make a wall? Instead of a bridge, let's make a wall, and that will act as a bridge. There we go. That'll work. I think that'll work just fine. Overlap. There we go. I'll turn it back off now. Alright, I think that's gonna be good. Now what we need to do is figure out which color is going to work the best, background-wise. There's a lot of options to choose from. They actually added grayscale colors in this last update, like white and black and grays. I think actually one of the either white or gray may actually work the best. There's some other ones too. There is red. I don't want to use red. Use pink cheeks. Purple. I think green. You don't want to use green. This particular... The only options we really have are yellow, orange. Really only yellow. Another yellow. And orange colors. We don't want to use black. I think black is a bad idea. And I think pure white could be problematic if, like, maybe for reflections. Because we got to think about this from the perspective of this is going to have to be run through an AI tool that will remove... It has to be run through a background removal tool. And we got to think about that. And so when we pick a color, we're going to have to be a little choosy. I think the black-esque color is going to be the worst option. And white might be one of the worst options, too. It could also be really good. The problem is, he has, like, the costume has little black eyes. Like, white reflections also being cast on it. So that's not going to necessarily work the best. The only other option I think I can think of are, like, kind of course, the lemon, like, yellow colors. I think actually this yellow and this yellow, like the lime-ish color. These might actually be the best. As well, like, if for the non-grayscale colors. Because everything else, just, like, the blues and the pinks blend into, and, like, the greens, like, they just blend in too much. So we have a nice little assortment of test blocks. I don't know if there's anything else that can really be used. Outside of that, I don't know if there's anything that can really be used. I don't think... Maybe the purple. You could maybe use the purple. I don't think that's a great idea. Unless you're maybe trying to blend it with the background removing. Maybe like a purple could actually work. The purples are a definite maybe, although I think that's a bit of a stretch. We got a nice assortment of blocks. I could have actually just spawned over there, but it's fine. We'll just do it the hard way. It's fine. And now we have our green screen objects. So we have the gray. I think actually, okay, the white might actually blend with reflections too well, which is bad. We don't want that. Gray, on the other hand, actually works really good. It doesn't, like, it's not light, and I think the grays will probably be the play. Because the grays aren't too bright. They're not bright enough to the point where they're gonna, like... Because you can see the reflections on his helmet. I don't think it's gonna cancel that too hard. Now, I'm just giving an example. This is not the skin we're using, but this is just an example. Like, the black actually would work in some cases, but if you look at, like, his belt or the boots, if I was trying to use this guy, the construction bean, like, that would not work well, because then the details that are black, maybe even the eyes at certain angles like this, would blend in too well, and that just creates disasters. The gray, on the other hand, doesn't have that problem. And neither do some of these colors, like this lime block. I think lime will probably not work with the skin we're going to be using, just because. So I'm gonna actually get this in position. We're gonna hit save, and we're gonna publish the map. We're gonna publish the map, so to speak. We're actually not going to publish it. We're gonna skip the test. We're gonna publish and skip test. Now, this is actually a cool feature, because unlike Mario Maker, what you can actually do is have someone who's, if you are struggling to, if you know your level is beatable, if you've tested the sections, but you're having a hard time beating the whole level, you can literally share this with someone who can. But I'm also using this to make sure it doesn't show up in, like, the algorithms of the game. It's like level feed. I don't want people having to play this garbage. Uno can be hard with custom rules. It depends on the rules. It really depends on what custom rules you use. You can, like... Oh, I forgot the evil item shop. Oh, no. My curiosity killed me here. I got the item shop soft lock. I got an item shop soft lock. Very good. Good. 10 out of 10. Great. Good design. That's fine. We'll just reboot the game. All right, we got our first part. It only took an hour. Only an hour. We're definitely... I don't think we're going to be working on any of the actual extraction part, or, you know, basically removing the background and then getting it to be compatible in Emote. We're not going to be able to probably do any of that tonight. That's probably going to have to be for another bonus segment. We might have to do another bonus segment, to be honest. Get that to work. All right, okay, can I check the item shop without it crashing a game and doing weird things? I just want to look. I'm just curious. Yeah, I'm going to feed the ADHD to this, and that's all I'm going to give it. Nothing says fun like were things you can't see previews of, because that's broken. It doesn't matter. There's previews. Let's go to... Let's go back to our little land of custom map. And let's load this up. Let's see if it's gonna work. We're gonna go back in, pull it back up, and let's see if we can let's see how this is gonna work. And what now, I didn't change the colors of all the blocks. I kind of want to figure out what's good. I'd say it can be. Okay, I think one of the most fun and jank custom rules we ever did. Okay, stacking can be a fun one, depending on how you do it. Did I turn that fan on too early? I think I didn't add a delay to that fan, but it's fine. You can still work around it. Let's see. Okay, first, camera. Oh, camera loves to fight you. Oh, that's interesting. That's going to be a little janky to work with. It can be, though. I mean, the stack rule is one that my family's used for a long time. It just depends on the rules you make, and it really depends on what you want to do with it, too. Now, I think one of the funniest ones I remember was actually back. I was on a family vacation, and there was this Uno set that comes with a custom blank card. Like, where you have to basically, you can make it where you have to, like, if you've seen the Draw 24 meme, you might know that card. Like, you basically have a challenge, or we made it where you have to do a challenge, or you have to draw like 8 or 12 cards. I think it was like 8 cards or 12 cards. Huge disadvantage it would put you in most cases. And so what we did was you either had to jump into the pool or draw the 8 cards with your clothes on, by the way. You had to, like, with what you were, like, the casual clothing you were wearing, whatever you were wearing, you had to, like, go in. Like, as is. That was the rule we came up with. Oops. Oh, ironically, just dropping off the map also works. We made a whole fan contraption, and I don't even think we're going to end up needing it. Gosh darn it. But yeah, I remember that fun. Of course, pretty much, except for, like, Mom, I think, who didn't want to, like, have to deal with that. Every single rest of us in the family jumped in the pool because we didn't want to draw, because we were competitive and didn't want to draw the 8 cards. Or however much it was. Okay, we might have found a way to do this a little bit better. It turns out we did everything before for nothing. Yeah, that little janky fan setup, yeah, that was for nothing, because it turns out there's an easier method. We could just drop off the map. We let the camera reset, and then we just adjust it with the position with the analog stick, or the left stick. And I think that's gonna be the play. I'm just gonna, like, do this. Yeah, okay, I think that's gonna work. 7-0 rule. I don't actually remember the 7-0 rule. I think we found the strat. Now we just gotta find the background. But I'm gonna test this one more time to see if this is consistent. But if it is, we have a method. Okay, best part, the camera won't alter its position. You can alter the axolotl's position or the beanball's position. You don't have to alter the actual camera. I'm not touching the right stick at all. I did a frame-perfect jump unintentionally because I freaked out and didn't want to have to jump off the map. But anyway, I just face forward like this, I roll off the map, and then I adjust the camera only with, like, vertically. And if correct, it should just kind of keep its position, which is fine. The Rocket League Heat Seeker Mercy Rule. It's actually an interesting idea, mixing Rocket League elements with Uno. Also, hello. Okay, I'm gonna test this like one more time. Actually, I'm gonna do this. Is that gonna work? Yep, it works, and it's consistent. Cool. All right, that's great, and we can remove the background later. Also, that's not the oh yeah, that's not the Rocket League Mercy rule. That's the team. Oh God, please forfeit. We're down bad. That's the down bad rule. Please, teammates. My teammates, they won't forfeit. We're getting our butts whooped. I think, actually, is this actually good? Is this actually going to mess with reflections? It might actually not. I think the gray background still might be our best bet, to be honest with you. I think that's going to work fairly reliably. Again, do not want to use black. He has little beady black eyes. That is not going to play nice with a background removal tool. The grays, on the other hand, will probably play well with a background removal tool. Light gray might be the play. That might be the one to go with, because it would probably have not bad light bleeding problems, too. Lime will definitely not play well with those frills. That is, and like some of the hands and like the tail, that's not going to play well. The yellow, I think, is really the only other good alternative. But, oh, no, the yellow will actually have issues, too. No, don't use the yellow. That's going to have... Because his frills apparently have a little yellow. That or it's reflecting. But, yeah, we don't want to do that. Ironically, I think purple would work better. Because it doesn't, like... The only other option is purple. Is that what it... blend in and it wouldn't have like issues. And maybe like this. No, that would actually have issues because the cheeks are pink, and that's actually pink. But I think our best bet's the light gray or the dark gray. Either way, I think the gray is the way. I think that's our strategy, to be honest. I think we figured it out. Okay, now here's where things get incredibly jank. Actually, I might have to restart the game for this, because we're going to have to turn off VSync. We actually, tonight, can at least get some recorded footage. Okay. Playing 7 allows you to swap... Oh, you play 7 and you swap hands. Oh, that's a crazy rule. That's crazy. Oh, wait, okay, I do know the passing rule. Okay, I didn't know the name, but I knew the concept. That's crazy. That'd be a crazy one, though, to pull out. Okay, we got the strats. I know we don't have the graphics tab or anything out tonight, and we're probably not going to get to that because there's just literally no way we're going to have time to do that without me being extremely tired, and I am already on very little sleep, and I would like to go to bed sometime this century, so... Here's the strat. Now, here's where things have to get jank. The problem is, the game has a very limited... I'll actually show you. This game has a limited resolution of the actual beam. Now, I think I believe the Twitch emote size, isn't it like 112 pixels? As the biggest size one? Yeah, it's 112 by 112 pixels. Let me just demonstrate the problem. Oh, yeah, the old illegal card. Oh, yeah, I remember on Unofficial, that was a big meta. Is having to guess. That was a big mind game one, is having to guess if, like, people were doing, like, you know, were abusing that or not. But if you guess wrong, then you have to draw, like, more cards, which is bad. That definitely mixes it up. Okay, so let me demonstrate the problem of this. And despite the fact that he looks pretty big here, when he's, like, in neutral position, when we go into Beanball, he gets a little smaller. But I'll show you here. We'll get him in a better spot. I'm just gonna like take a screenshot right there, and I'll show you what I mean when we actually go over to an image editor. I think actually maybe this will work, but we'll see. The 7 entices to make card bombs or hot potato. Oh, that's actually a really evil but really clever strategy. That's actually so good, though. Is my main display? Why is this my main display? Oops, that's not supposed to be my main display anymore. Not this time, at least. It's not supposed to be my main display. Although I don't think it'll matter much in a little bit here. Let me open my image editing program real quick. We're gonna open this up. Alright. We're gonna copy the screenshot I just took in here. So the only problem is when you start to zoom in, let's see if it'll actually work. Yeah, actually, surprisingly enough for the Axolotl, actually that it kind of works almost. It's like it's still pretty close. Like the frill is really carrying this guy on like the vertical height, but actually the width is actually bad. You see the problem though? If you look in the bottom corner here, it might be hard to see, but it says 104 to 123. That's a problem. That is a problem. That is pushing this boundary pretty hard. And that's not what we're going to want to mess with. So we're going to have to use a little bit of trickery. So we're going to use my OBS on this computer. Not the streaming machine, the other one, this one that I'm using now. And we're going to have to record video, but we're going to have to do it in a really jank way. We're going to use this. The problem is I don't have a... We're going to have to get that problem that I just showed you fixed. We have to upscale it. We have to run the game at a higher resolution. Running this game at 2160p would be a joke. I tried that already. It can't get the frame rate right for GIFs. We have to run the game at 50 FPS. And that does not work, because this can only go up to like 30. So we're gonna upscale it, the game, and run it at 1440. So 2560 by 1440 resolution. That's what we have to run the game at. Basically, not 1080p. And we're gonna do it, but the problem is I only have 1080p monitors. All my monitors are 1080p. My graphics tablet is 1080p. The chat monitor is actually 720. And then my main monitor is also 1080. So I don't have any 2160p or 4K support. Force play is interesting in Uno. That can be an interesting mechanic. It can actually be good in some cases, but it definitely depends on what you're in the mood for. But not force play actually allows strategy. So I like both depending on the mood, but I kind of like the non-force one because you can kind of get clever. So anyway, the problem is, like I said, I don't have any monitors that support this, so we're gonna use this. This is a display emulator. It is literally just a tiny little HDMI thing. It is literally HDMI, except there is nothing on the other end. It is called a display emulator for a reason. It is a little device you plug into your graphics card or your computer, and it basically acts like a monitor, but it's fake. It's a fake monitor, but you could fit in your pocket, except it can't display anything. It's emulated for a reason. Actually, a lot of servers will use these because, like, some computers, especially graphics cards, if you don't have something to output to, the graphics card will turn itself off and you can't see what you're doing. If you're trying to, like, remotely connect to a computer, you can't see what you're doing unless you have one of these plugged in. That's what I actually use that on my own laptop. Is if I close the monitor on my laptop, and I used to do that, I couldn't connect to it with my phone with trickery, so I had to get one of these. I don't really use it as much anymore, but at some point I might have to. But we're gonna use that now. And this is where things get very jank. And you're gonna see why. I'm gonna have to actually close this game. And we're gonna have to restart everything. Because this is where things get incredibly janky and very weird. In order to run the game at a better resolution, we're gonna have to use this. And I'm gonna have to get under the desk and get this working. Yeah, right. That is a nice thing. That is exactly why I like the non-force, though. Force is good in some cases. I like the non-force because you can do like strategy stuff like that. You can kind of pull mind games, which is kind of fun. It's a little more meta. It's a little more advanced, but you know it's fun. All right, I gotta get under my desk. All right, we're gonna go under the desk, and we are going to have to plug this in. I'm also gonna have to do. I have not tried this while my capture card is connected to my desktop, so I have no idea how this is gonna play. This could actually play very poorly with this, so I have no idea how this is gonna work. We should be okay. We should be fine, but I have genuinely no idea how this is gonna play with any of this. I have not tested that part, so I actually don't know how this is gonna work, or if we're gonna be able to actually do this, or at least show the video. I don't know if we're gonna be able to do that or not. Actually, I don't think we're gonna have to worry about that part, because you're not gonna be looking at like what's on this. You're gonna be looking at my main monitor. Don't worry about that. Ignore what I said. It's fine. It'll work. Alright. Okay. Unplug that. Hopefully I can just in there. It's a little tricky. A little tight back here. But if I can just get it in the right spot. There we go. Alright. Got it plugged into the graphics card. I did enter the basement level. It's, as someone in chat once put it, it's a lovely fire hazard. Alright. My computer's not doing things yet. I think my computer needs to get used to the display emulator and my graphics card, and my capture card being connected at the same time. It's not playing nice. Uh-oh. Can I get the mouse off of this monitor? Uh-oh, I think I'm trapped. I'm trapped in this monitor. I can't. Okay, it's made my main display my tiny little monitor. For some reason. Thanks. Cool. Good. No, make this one my main display now. Okay, I think that should fix it. And I should be able to move freely now. I can't see what I'm doing. Can I identify these? Okay, I think I figured it out. I can't see, the only problem is I can't see the actual other one that's happening here. Okay, let's get that closer like that. I should be able to... I can't see chat for a second because it's doing weird things. I have indeed returned from the basement level. Okay, this is where things get jank. It's just like I talked about earlier. We have to run the game to the display emulator. The problem is, if I do that, I can't see what's happening. So there's a little hacky workaround. That we're going to have to do. And I'm going to have to pull this off. I don't think opening OBS should reveal anything personal info-wise. I don't think that's going to do that. So we should be good. I don't think that's going to reveal anything. Except my activity. It will reveal my activity feed, but who gives a crap about that? You can already see that happening on my stream anyway. Alright. Now what we're going to have to do is... okay. I'm going to configure this first. I need to run the display emulator is running itself at 1920 by 1080. I need that to run at 2560 by 1440. Yeah, it is like that. It is like that. Oh. Okay, we are stuck. It's not gonna... I don't think it's gonna let me confirm it. Oh, it let me confirm it. Okay, cool. Okay, I made this extra thick. Okay, I think this is going to work. Verb. I wonder if Fritz finally went to bed. The last time I checked on him like an hour and a half ago, he did not want to go to bed. Alright, let's I'm gonna restart voice. No, I'm glad. No, Outlook, shut up. Voice meter. I do not want to. I am not showing the world my emails. Windows, no, I'm not showing people my email on stream. People wanted my magical string of letters for years. I know you're not getting my magic. I know you guys really want my magical numbers. You're not getting my magic numbers, not today at least. All right, so we have it set up. We got this working. So we have our main display, which I think is running at what is this actually running at right now? This should be running at that is running correctly. That's all fine. Here's the display emulator. Here's my fake monitor. Oh, that I can show you that. I use Fifth Third. I can tell you that. Was I on Mario Kart? I don't think so. Yeah, anyway, we got that set up now. You can tell he's thick by his resolution. He's big. But now we have 1440p on our magical fake monitor. And now you can see this is why we have to use OBS, because the problem is we need a way to see what in the hell we're doing while we're doing this, and this is my solution to that. So now I can use the preview window as my monitor so I can see what is happening. The magical string is it's all J. Yes. Yep, you can see my desktop, the MSI Dragon on there. That is where the game's gonna go when we actually get it working. So great. Now we can actually run the game on that monitor instead. And I can still see what I'm doing and access all my monitors, which is nice. And this is why this process of making these emotes can take a while, because you have to do, depending on the game, you have to do weird things. Now, the good news is the method and the map I just made These can be used for actually, it put it on my display emulator right away. That's great. It put it on there immediately. Now, the only thing I gotta check is I need to check my refresh rate. Now, OBS is already set to work at 50 frames per second, so if it looks a little more stuttery in the game, that's gonna be why. It's OBS is running. I have this profile set for 50 frames. We're gonna be running the game at 50 FPS. We don't need any more than that because GIFs don't support anything higher than 50 frames. So that's their frame rate they can run at. So we'll have to work with that. I go down to my display monitor. I'm just gonna set the options to not this. This is overkill and just gonna make me lag. All right. No VSync, and let's use FPS 50. I don't think I want to use VSync here. I think that's going to be a problem for what I'm trying to do. Everything else I like, except this. We need to change the resolution to 60 hertz, even though we're running only 50 frames. For some reason, it doesn't support 50 at this resolution, but it doesn't really matter because it should still work. Let me just check the refresh rate to make sure that's going to be good. Okay, it's running at 59.95. That's great. That's just what we need. But now you know why we need OBS, because we have to see what we're doing while we're doing this. And now I basically have a tiny thing. I'm also going to have this open. Ignore that. That's startup stuff. We can ignore those stats. But now I have a tiny little monitor you can see, and I'm actually going to hold on. I'm going to move my camera down so you can like see better. There we go. That's a little bit. That's a little bit better. Let me get some water real quick. And now we can actually run the game. We're running this at 1440p. It doesn't look like it. And it's sure as heck not showing up on stream that way, because this is tiny. It's janky, it's weird, but it works. And I'll show you how it works. And why. Because basically, it makes the little axolotl a lot bigger. Which is good, because we can always downscale later. That's kind of the trick, but upscaling a small image will turn out crusty. But downscaling a bigger image is basically anti-aliasing. So it's better to downscale like once than upscale once. Let's go to custom shows and let's do that process I just talked about, except this time we're going to record it. I am not going to show this part on stream because I'm going to have to check my settings to make sure that OBS is running at the right stuff. Also, I need to open my directory of my project. I need to open where this is going to record. I have some Garbo recordings I don't need on here. I'm gonna get rid of these. And we're gonna need a couple folders. I'm gonna need to open a couple folders real quick because I need to make sure I know where this is going. There's nothing here that's sensitive or anything. At least in the folders I'm opening. Okay, I'm going to rename this folder to just that. Great, good. Alright, cool. I got all my directories open I need. Which we will need later. Let me check. We're running lossless? Yeah, we're running lossless, so I have to be careful. That's also why I didn't hit the record button yet. Because recording at lossless is expensive. And takes up a lot of space. And I'd rather just not waste that, even though my hard drive is fine. It has, like, tons of space on it. Can it be altered to be a JIT? That's a good question, actually. Hold on. Let me look. Yesent? I would say the answer is yesent. Now, one thing about the headphones. This is actually a mesh. A metal. That's actually metal on there. Or some kind of plastic. but it's a mesh if you look at it. It's like a mesh object. So theoretically, you could, actually. With a little bit of jank. Because all you have to do is spray paint or dye that part black, and then you can just... you basically do what tennis rackets do. You can have a custom tennis rackets. You basically just paint the design you want on there. You could theoretically do anything on there, as long as it works with the mesh. So actually, I guess theoretically you could, if I was absolutely dedicated enough and willing to try to take these things apart, which I am not. But also, they don't make this model anymore. Then yeah, I probably would. But you know, I'm not bothered enough. I already modded the headphone pads, which, by the way, I need to actually replace these are falling apart. I already modded the pads on these. I really don't feel like messing with stuff. Hopefully this isn't gonna now, I haven't tried this. Whoa. Okay, Windows, hey, buddy, do you mind just not doing that? Thank you. Good thing that note didn't have anything personal on it. Windows, you just have to be a brat. Oh. Okay, we're in the game. It's gonna look a little laggy. We are running this only at 50 frames. Let's try to get a few takes. Ironically, my whole fan setup is just useless. Oh, shoot, wait a minute. Oh, hey, guess what I didn't do? I didn't change the background color. Oopsies. Oops. Isn't that exciting? I messed up. That's fine. We can just do it in this. I'm gonna make this bigger. I'm gonna do another projector. Oopsies. That's fine. We can fix that. We can fix that. We have to make this gray. We have to make it like the light gray. I think I'm gonna use the light gray color. I think that's gonna be the play. All right. The only sucky part is I do have to do this for every single one. Oh, this has a gap. That's the problem. Oh, that's gonna be exciting to fix. Well, we found a problem anyway, so whatever. We actually had to get in here anyway and fix that, so it's fine. Whatever. And yeah, it probably looks a little laggier on stream, but it's actually not lag, it's just the frame rate being capped at 50, which, in fairness, actually doesn't look too bad. All this for a little emote. All this for a drop of blood. Or in this case, just for a tiny little animation that will probably stick around mostly during Fall Guys streams. On the bright side, this is reusable, though. That's the nice thing. If I want to, like, do another character skin with this setup, we actually can, which is kind of nice. So if I want to do the dragon next, which I probably will, or maybe the other Axolotl color, we can absolutely do that, and it will work out. It would probably take a few takes. But yeah, we can actually do that, and it's fine. And again, our background removal tool should do the job. Like, this will not... That's why I'm choosing very specific background colors. Is what I want this to do is I want the tool to do most of the work. And I want to just only do a little bit. Because that saves a lot of time. It's not about me wanting to be lazy. It's about me wanting to save time when having to do this. Especially if I have to do this over and over and over again. I think that works pretty good. And we're going to do the publish trick, but we're going to skip. We're going to skip the test. and publish it again. And we're gonna leave. That's it. Alright, we fixed it. Now we can go back. Now for real this time. Now for real, we can actually get this working now. And again, I have to go back and forth with OBS because it's the only way to see what I'm doing on these fake displays. Because otherwise, I would not be able to see what I'm doing, and I had to do this blind. So that's why I'm using OBS. That I have to record anyway. But if I don't do that, I will not see what I'm doing. And it's a little disorienting, but once you kind of get the hang of it, it works fine. Okay. Hour and a half in, we're at least at the recording part. And this is where things get interesting, is now we have to record the footage. I should have added a checkpoint here, but it's fine. What now we gotta do is, well, we just dive off. That's not a good take. We're gonna try another one. We gotta make sure I don't move the camera. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna make this a full preview. Just get rid of this one. Alright, and we go back to the game, and now I can see what I'm doing a little bit better, and so can you. Alright, I'm not going to use the camera. We're just going to try to get the camera in a neutral spot. That actually might be a good take. I'm going to get several takes, because we're going to want to get multiple angles, and we're going to want to figure that out now. I'm gonna get like several different angles just to make sure that since I'm gonna have to do this now, I might as well just do it as much as I can. Because I'm gonna have to decide what I like best. In terms of the angle. I'll do like a slightly... Oh, I think I'm a little too close to the wall. It's fine. We can fix that. Kinda did a weird rotation at the end there. That was kinda weird. Alright, let's get like maybe a couple more takes. I'm gonna get a little further away this time. Okay, and this is literally how I get the emotes. This is how I do what I call the lazy emotes. Which basically, take emotes based on the game I'm playing, and just do this. Stuff like this. This is how I do it. Once I get enough footage, I should have enough to just basically do whatever I want with. Which is why if I'm gonna have to do this and do this pain in the neck method, I might as well just spend some time getting a few takes. Even if they aren't good, if some of them aren't good, it doesn't matter. The only thing I'm not checking is my, if I'm lagging or not, so I may have to check that. So, you know. 1 month and 4 days, that's a lot of watch time. My spawn was horrible that time. It's a lot of watch time. I think, honestly, we might have enough footage at this point. I still want to get some different angles, just to be safe. But we should have enough. You almost have 2. That's really good. And mind you, Hannah streams a lot more than I have. Streamed a lot more than I have, in terms of raw hours. Oh, we're lagging a little bit, I think. Are we lagging? Let me check. No, we're not. It just looks weird, but I don't think we're actually lagging. It's not, it's just preview. Okay, it's just the preview lagging. It's not the actual game, it's just preview. I think OBS preview is just dying, but it's working. It's fine. The camera is very hard to work with in this game when I'm doing this. It obviously wasn't designed for this purpose, but it's very hard to work with in that sense. So it's a little janky. I'm gonna be honest, I think that's just enough footage to get us by. And, I mean, worst case, we just come back for more. And that's all. However, it didn't lag, so my GPU is pulling its weight. And doing just fine. Alright, let's go back over to my, videos here. You can see, though, the problem is, this is 22 gigabytes of video. Let's take a look at it. You can see that it does work. I'm gonna go like one of my later takes. There's no audio. I didn't have audio set up for this because I don't really need it. This is 22 gig. This is lossless, so it is 22 gig, which is a little bit unreasonably high in file size. But you can see if I slow it down, you can see him do the spin. Uh-oh. I'm gonna check this. Is there blur happening in some of these stills? No, okay. I think that's just VLC having trouble. There he is, though. And the nice thing is, this is actually very simple animation to do. How many frames is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think it's like, what is it? 9-ish, 10-ish frames? Like, I mean, yeah, it's gonna equal probably more 40, 50, because if you have to include the confetti, wind effects. Is it blurring, though? Or is that just VLC crapping out here? I think that's gonna work. I think that'll work, to be honest with you. And I'll show you what I was talking about earlier as well. Like I was talking about earlier. If my theory is correct, this guy should actually be a little bigger in resolution now. You can see that I'm gonna exclude the tail. Tiny bit bigger. Okay, actually, it wasn't that much of an improvement, to be honest. This was recording at the right resolution, wasn't it? It doesn't feel that much bigger to me. That's odd. Huh. That's odd. It doesn't feel much bigger to me. I'm gonna check this resolution. I'm gonna run this through Handbrake, which is a program I have that can take a file and it can make it not jank. It can make it basically work with my video editor and also make it where it's compatible with what I'm doing. No limits, no upscaling. Maybe it was the camera angle. You know, the camera might be a little different when it's falling. That actually might be the problem. And also no audio. Let's make the quality. I'm just gonna make it 1. I normally wouldn't do that with these sort of things, but you know, it doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna run it as is with quality, and that my CPU is pretty beefy, so it'll take probably just a matter of minutes. Yeah, no, I'm using Intel QSV, which I like. It's not quite full CPU encoding, but it's like using the integrated graphics, for those who knows what that means. It's fast. This is why I have a 13900K. This is why. It's not because of fancy Fortnite game go burr. It's because I need to do this stuff. Hey, imagine this, but 2160p and hours long. That is exactly what this, I have to run every night on this thing. Almost every night, at least. Yeah, it's taking a little bit. It only took about it's only going to take about a couple minutes, which is pretty good. Considering it's working with lossless video, that's not too bad. So I think the camera might be the thing here. I think the camera almost like is like different. I'm actually kind of glad that I pushed the resolution up a little bit. I think this would have been problematic. I also may want to check the Fall Guys settings to make sure it's running at the right resolution too. Oh, only 52 cents? Wait, hold on. Can you add the difference though? I'm pretty sure there's a feature. I thought wait, is that with the remaining funds feature? Oh, like can you not add the difference if it's under a certain amount? Is that right? Ooh, that's how they get you, isn't it? I forgot. I guess if it's not like a certain amount, like that's janky. Sucks that it's like that, but I know why it's like that. But like I thought you can add the remainder, like if you have like your funds in your account plus whatever you're doing. I thought you could add like just what you need. I've done that before on the eShop. I don't know if it would work for 52 cents. However, I'm pretty sure recently I bought something with pennies. Like I think I only had to pay like 16 cents for something recently. I gotta check that. I gotta double check that and see if that's the case. I swear some places will. I don't know how Nintendo is about that, but I think it was an Epic purchase I made. Is they released U2 songs, and I couldn't resist buying the bundle for that, even though I can only use them like off stream. But I'm pretty sure I used like the cashback I had from Epic on the Epic store, because I bought games because they had a big sale and I had some money on there, and I'm pretty sure I was able to like pay for something with just a tiny difference. Yeah, Epic Fortnite, 19 cents. So take that what you will. You might be able to add, if they let you add the remainder, you might be able to. Yeah. I mean, depending on your card, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing, though. If you don't care about it enough, or just want to earn the gold points, yeah, it doesn't matter. Oh, is there a sale going on? Oh, that's good. Yeah, you'll have time. All right. Anyway, I got that processed. That's been. Oh, those were the first attempts. I couldn't actually use. Ignore the other junk on here. Those are other things. One actually, this is actually a VOD of Hannah's. Nice 218 gig. God bless our internet speed, because this would be horrible to upload if that was, you know, not 218 gigabytes. Ugh. If I had dial-up speeds, this would not be uploaded. Alright, anyway. Yeah, that went down from 22 gig to 600 megabytes. So that's pretty efficient. Let me check the resolution of this. Yeah, that is 1440. 50 frames per second. That is exactly 1440p. Oh, you know what? Oh, I fricked up. You know what I just realized? You know why it looks smaller? You know why it looks smaller? I messed up. I didn't take a screenshot with the program. I took a screenshot with Windows. So it's only going to make a 1080p screenshot. That's why it didn't work. That's why it looked weird. That's why it didn't have a difference. Because, duh, it's not going to have a difference if I don't do it right. Okay, here's a little Axolotl buddy. Yeah, I have to take a screenshot with actual VLC. 27 instead of 20. Oh, it's only a 99-cent difference? Oh, it's not too bad. Okay, the card issuer probably, if it's 99 cents, they'd probably let you do that and not give you issues. I mean, heck, a crypto thing, Coinbase card, let me do it. So if my obscure card that no one probably has ever heard of can do it, I'm sure other ones can, depending on the provider. Unless the provider is jank, but even then, I don't see why they would have an issue with a 99-cent purchase. Considering that's what most apps cost. On, like, app stores and stuff. Yes, depends on how much you, like, really care. Hold on, where did that picture go off to? Ah, there it is. There's the VLC picture. I'm gonna move that over here. There's VLC's picture. Okay, let's try putting that into our image editor this time. Oh, wow, that's a big... You can kind of tell right away. Look at this. Look at, like, the eyes. Compare that to this. Especially those eyes. You can really see the difference. Maybe not as well on stream, but you can really see the crisp difference in, like, the detail here. And yeah, look at the size. If we exclude the tail, too. We exclude the tail and, like, the frills, too. And just kind of, like, do this. The size is still much larger. Right about the size we need, actually. So, yeah. That actually works out pretty well, I feel like. He's plotting. And I'm pretty sure he's rolling. He's rolling. Baller. Alright. Well, we figured it out. That in my book is pretty good. And I think that's all the time I'm going to have tonight. Because I ran over Rocket League tonight. Yeah, you have a week. Oh, yeah, you got time. That's plenty of time to think about it. I mean, at worst, you just add like $10 on there and you use the other remainder later. That's not too bad either, honestly. Alright, I got the raw footage that I needed. And I can always go back and make more footage if footage is bad. I might try to work on this a little bit. Maybe off if I have time, but probably won't. To be honest with you, it depends. And if I do make progress, it won't be much. I'm gonna close this game. Oh poop! You know what? I might want to make the game windowed. Actually, I'm gonna go back in. I need to fix this. Because if I do not do that, it's gonna give me. It's gonna complain. I'll tell you what. I'll give you guys some coins for hanging out. Oh, that's little. Don't tell anybody. It's little secret coins. Just being crazy enough to stay up. I'll give Jordan some coins too, because he was here too. He was hanging out. He stayed up, or at least he stayed up for for the first part here. What? What do you mean, bruh? Don't. What do you mean? You got free like coin. Anyway, I'm gonna set this Fall Guys. You can't hear it because I muted the audio, but I'm gonna set this to like. I'm gonna set this to windowed mode, so when I try to get this back open later, it's not going to complain. I'm also gonna make the resolution reasonable again, because I don't want my stuff to complain later. Like, I don't want my game to complain or do weird things on my other monitors. It's probably gonna try to put it on my tiny monitor again, the vertical one that I don't want it on. Alright, well, that's step one of the emotes. And also, by the way, like I said, I can reuse this setup for anything I want. That involves a beanball falling off a thing, or just a bean falling in general. But you want exactly 52 more. No. Alright, I think I'm good on the emote stuff for the night. We got the footage. We got a lot of footage, actually. We got great amounts of footage, to be honest. Or there's some... I may have to double check some of that footage later, but this honestly is pretty good. Honestly, quite good. You get more money, but all pennies. Oops. Alright. I think I'm good at this point. I think I got everything I need in order. I have my ducks in a row. I'm not gonna unplug my display emulator right now. Take it away, Penny! Just a coin. It's just this. Indoors. Listen, indoors is basically just my entire life these days. Like, I have to go outside. Oh wait, that's a. Hey, wait, that's the. Hold on, that's the alternate ending. Take it away, Penny. Bombs. Be careful, that coin is a bomb. It was made at a factory. A bomb factory. They're bombs. That's some of the most iconic lines from SpongeBob right there. I love OG SpongeBob. Some of those episodes were just so good. Okay, I don't know. I gotta... Oh, frick. You know what? I might actually have to unplug my display emulator and my capture card, because I think it's gonna not play very nice. I might actually have to plug in my other monitor. Back to the basement level again, because I have to, like, do that, or my stuff's not gonna play very nice. And I try to, like, look for potential raidees. Back to the mines. It's really tiny and hard to remove. How does this HDMI cable be doing the monitor? Back in sorry, I can't get it back in here. Back in my full vaccine. Grab card. Alright, move the desktop a little bit. Okay, nice. You not see what I'm doing. Oh, I see the port. The port is right there. Port or bracket? Black. Oh, there's the card. Alright. Or what? Stubborn. Why are you being stubborn right now? Good, Joe. Wasn't that stubborn earlier? Yep. Alright, back from the basement level, back from the mines again. Because I had to go and look. I had to go look for that. It was being more stubborn this time, going back in, compared to earlier. I did this earlier when I was testing it with other ones. It was not that stubborn. Okay, let's see if we can go right out. We're gonna probably have to do more bonus segments, so this will not be the only one. You will. Beanball Axolotl will return. Most likely, unless somehow by some miracle I get it done really quick. Off, but I doubt I'll get it done that fast. This will probably be a several day process. Now the good news is non-animated ones don't tend to have this problem. Also, I'm very happy I chose a light gray background, because it turns out the little confetti wind effect has all kinds of colors, and that would have been horrible. Absolutely horrendous to have to remove in post and deal with even with layer masks. So very glad I chose a light gray background. That is going to make this very simple. All right. What? Okay. You know, oh shoot, I have not rated this guy in a long time. I wonder what he's up to now. Let's see. Well, there's several people. There's like there's two. There's all of two. That person has too many viewers. Think of this guy. I haven't actually rated this guy in a while. Did he affiliate? Oh, nice. Okay. We might be able to raid out, actually. We might actually be able to raid out tonight. I already kind of gave this outro earlier today, but like I said, we are going to be playing some Fortnite tomorrow. If you want to be part of that, we are going to be streaming. I'm going to be streaming that tomorrow around... That's going to be around 7:30. Hopefully it's around 7:30. Unless it happens like today for some reason. I end up being late again. To be honest, chat, you kind of got lucky I'm even streaming at all this week, considering I apparently had COVID and still apparently did things. I thought it was just my normal health crap getting in the way that last night, or not Rocket League, the day before that. Yeah, it turns out it was probably COVID. Fun. But either way, well, when I get sick, my headaches ramp up like badly, the point where I can barely do anything. I thought, it's just my health issues, and well, I'm gonna let that slide. But yeah, it turns out I thought it was just my regular health stuff, because sometimes that happens with the headache garbage. But no, it turns out it was probably COVID, because I ramp up. That's how I can tell. I actually don't get a lot of the symptoms of COVID. Poor Hannah has it, though, and she has it bad. Okay, actually, it's not true. I do have a cough. It's like a regular cold at this point, but maybe like a flu. Otherwise, my immune system actually just kind of hits different, apparently. There are a couple loose cogs in a couple spots. Like with the random headaches I can't figure out, but everything else is really good. Poor Hannah, though, she can't smell or taste anything right now, like at all. She was legit taking a hand sanitizer, like a bunch of hand sanitizer in hand, was basically right up to the bottle, could not smell it, like direct. We're talking like, if I open this up, like I smell that, and that is strong when I open that. And she could not smell that at all. Oh yeah, as a reminder, the Mom Plays Mario Wonder got canceled this week, and she'll probably have to do it next week or another time. Yeah, I'm very fortunate that the headaches were bad, and that was all. I think at this point the annoying cough is the only thing I have left. Hopefully Hannah's gonna get some good rest. I think she's sleeping in a little bit tomorrow, so hopefully she gets some good rest and she'll feel better. But yep, anyway, Fortnite tomorrow. We got Mario Wonder on Friday. And what else we got? We got Fall Guys on Saturday, actually, this week. And then nothing on Thursday, as per usual. You can always keep an eye out for the Discord or my own schedule if you are interested in that. Alright, let's see. This guy. Yeah, we can raid this guy out. I think we can do that. Alright, with that said, y'all, hey, thank you for stopping by for our little bonus segment tonight. You did not have to stop by for this tiny little segment, but you did anyway. I always appreciate that a lot, even though you didn't have to. With that said, though, I'm going to go ahead, I think, and wrap up at this point. Let me just make sure everything's working for what I need. I think this is already set up correctly. Yes, it is. Good. Okay, we're good to go. Alright, y'all have some good rest, or good luck with whatever your day or night has at this point. And that said, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. So thank you for stopping by, and I hope you enjoyed tonight's little stream. I will see you all around next time.